Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of Maths. Today we'll be solely focusing on comparing quantities. Before we begin, let us analyze the chapter, which is divided into two parts. The first part talks about selling price, cost price, profit and loss kind of a situation, which also includes taxation system like GST, sales tax, VAT. Plus it brings the flavor of discount and then successive discount as well. So all these things you can pretty much relate with your real life. Let's say if you go for online shopping, you will be paying some tax there in the form of GST. You would be calculating discounts there as well. If you just order some food online, again these things will be applicable. Or you just go to an online shop, offline maybe go to a shopping mall, buy some clothes, you would be indulging in discounts and taxes again. And there might be some situations in which you go for successive discounts. So all these are pretty much real life examples. This is about part one. If we talk about part two, it focuses on interest, which is compound interest and simple interest. So simple interest you already knew. In class 8 we built up a lot of concepts on compound interest, which is more practical. So if you relate it right now, you might not have a lot of examples in it in which you will be talking about interest. But after a few years, let's say after 10 years, 15 years, you would be indulging with banks. You do any job, you do any business, bank is going to be an important part of your life. Not only for deposit of money, let's say fixed deposit, it's not only about that, savings account, current account, it's also about taking loans at various stages of life, or you can be a lender as well. So all these things will involve interest rate and how do we calculate interest rate, what is the time duration, rate of interest. And practically speaking, compound interest is something which is more used as compared to the simple interest. So I would say this chapter is one of the most useful and practical chapters out of the entire syllabus of class 8. And hence, we'll be focusing on 5 good quality questions today. Our main focus would be on the part one of this chapter, which is about selling price, cost price kind of a things. And one question will be from the interest area. Let's get going now. So ensure to pause the video, solve the questions, and then we'll talk about the solutions. All right, question one, again, very much practical. You can relate the scenario. If you're going to buy a shirt for 336, that includes GST. That means this is not the mark price, rather जो mark price था, जो tag था उस shirt पे, उस पे you are paying some tax, and then the final amount is slightly different, which means 336 से थोड़ा सा कम होगा mark price, which is called as the tag price, which is also called as the list price as mentioned here. Again, for a tie, you are ultimately paying 110 rupees because इसमें already tax included है. यानी कि इसका जो listed price होगा, जो tag price होगा, वो 110 से कम होगा. उस पे you would have calculated 10%. So this GST or the simple tax is always calculated on the MRP. And if you add those things, you will then get the final price. Now, before we move ahead, let us think about this amount, 336. If you think it from the customer's point of view, let's say you are Ramesh, if you think from that point of view, it might look like that it is cost price to you. But if you look at from the store's point of view, it will be the selling price. So how do we differentiate? Is it actually a cost price or a selling price? The final answer to this is कि हमें स्टोर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखना है. जब भी ऐसी सिचुएशंस आएंगी, we'll think from the business person's point of view and not from the customer's point of view. So the business person is charging 336 rupees. That means ये उसके लिए final selling price होने वाला है. And हम इसको SP लिखेंगे अब. So since we have to find the list price of both these things, first of all we'll find them individually. तो list price of shirt को हम X assume कर लेते हैं, which is X rupees. This is for shirt. And you are paying 12% on it. यानी कि जो X था tag price, वो तो आप pay कर ही रहे हो. इस पे थोड़ा सा आप tax भी pay कर रहे हो, which is 12% of X. And if you add both these things, यानी कि the tag price plus the tax, you get the final price which you would have paid at the cash counter, which is 336 in this case. So you can very clearly see this is a linear equation in one variable. If you just open the percentage sign, X plus 12 upon 100X, it will be is equal to 336. Take LCM, 100 comes as the LCM. In the denominator, you will find 100x plus 12x, which is 112x is equal to 336. Now, if you just take all the terms on the right side, isolate the variable on the left side, you can find x as 336 into 100 upon 112. Simply, this is 3 times. 112 into 3 is 336, and hence the value of x comes out to be 300 rupees. यानी कि जब आप स्टोर में गए, you would have seen उस पे टैग प्राइस 300 रुपीस का था, जिस पे 12% टैक्स लगा, and which is 36 rupees, and finally you would have paid 336 rupees for it. I'll just erase this. You have got the price of shirt as 300 so far. Similarly, for tie, you can assume it to be y rupees. Or same process इस पे भी होगा, y rupees plus 10% of y rupees, which is 10 upon 100 of y, is equal to 110 rupees that you are paying. If you take the LCM, 100 comes at the denominator, numerator is 100y plus 10y, which is 110y, is equal to 110. So there is a difference between these two things. Now, एक वे तो ये कि हम डायरेक्टली इन दोनों नंबर्स को कट कर दें. If you are not comfortable with that, you can transpose things and you will find ultimately they get cancelled out. So the final value of y is nothing but 100 rupees, because if these are cancelled, यहाँ पे भी 1 आएगा, यहाँ पे भी 1 आएगा. This 100 will go here. 100 into 1 will be 100 rupees. So the price of tie is 100 rupees. The price of shirt was 300 rupees. If you club them together, it was 400 rupees. Okay, question number 2. So this is from the business person's point of view, again, not from customer's point of view. अगर आप डाइनिंग टेबल परचेज कर रहे हो, यू डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज कि आप एक कस्टमर हो और आपने परचेज करी है. इफ यू रीड इट टिल हियर, यू विल रियलाइज वो जो पर्सन है, जो ओनर है, उसने 3200 में परचेज करी and he sold at a gain of 6%. Since gain is involved, so transaction है, commercial point of view से है, this has to be the cost price for that person. इस पे he would have gained 6%. Now, इस क्वेश्चन में थोड़ी सी लैंग्वेज ट्रिकी है. Once we read the word sold, it looks like that this is the final selling price. Why I'm not saying only selling price? Because tax भी involved है. It looks like कि after tax जो भी amount आएगा, वो 6% के gain पे आप sell करोगे. So it looks like that this is the total selling price or final selling price, but it is actually not the case. Rather, this means that this is the tag price or MRP. ये थोड़ा सा इसमें language problem थी. If you purchase it for 3200 without calculating tax as the owner, you are thinking कि मुझे 6% gain चाहिए straight. You are not considering tax as of now. And for 6%, you will be talking about mark price right now, जिस पे further 5% tax आएगा, और जो tax amount आएगा, that will not go to your pocket obviously. And hence, independent of that amount of tax, you are only focusing on this gain percent of 6%, and hence this is not the final selling price. अगर हम final selling price यही ले लेते, तो कहीं ना कहीं हम उसको tax को include कर रहे हैं, and effectively 6% gain ना हो कि उससे कम gain होता ओनर को. So why would the owner want to lose out on this? So he would rather want कि ये 6% उसके mark price का margin है, उसके ऊपर जो भी tax है, the customer will be paying it. So let us write now. Cost price is 3200. Gain percent or profit percent is 6%. And we'll just use the simple formula of profit percentage. जिसमें everything we'll put normally. It's just that उसमें जो selling price हम निकालते हैं, selling price की जगह उसको mark price लिखेंगे last में. So if we talk about the formula of profit percentage, it is equal to SP minus CP upon CP into 100. And profit percentage is 6%. Now, if you can bring the 100 in the denominator of the LHS, it's perfectly fine. Or you can just write it there in the multiplied form, but make sure आप दोनों जगह 100 का फैक्टर नहीं लिख रहे हो. SP, जिसको हम मार्क प्राइस बोलेंगे रादर, अभी हम उसको X अज्यूम कर लेते हैं, माइनस CP, which is 3200 upon CP, which is again 3200, cross these two zeros. We are able to do this because one term is involved on the left and right of equal to sign. अगर यहाँ पे कुछ प्लस माइनस हो रहा होता इनके साथ, then we could not have cancelled them straight away. Now we have 32 in the denominator. Why not take it on the LHS and multiply it with 6? Once we do that, 32 into 6 will give us 192. So LHS पे 192 आ गया, and it is equal to x minus 3200. Then you transpose this, so LHS पे 3200 plus 192 हो जाएगा, and hence the final value of x comes as 3392 rupees. Again, this is not the selling price. Formula says it is selling price, but अगर हम इस situation को take care करें, so this is rather mark price. So far, make a note of all this, and then I'll clear some space. Now we have the mark price as 3392, on which we are paying tax. Remember, previous case में भी हमने ये देखा था, जो टैग प्राइस होता है, लिस्ट प्राइस होता है, मार्क प्राइस होता है, एक ही बात है, इस पे आप हमेशा टैक्स पे करते हो. यानी कि आप जब कैशियर पे जाओगे तो आप 3392 रुपीज तो पे कर ही रहे हो. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, दैट्स द मेन कॉस्ट, प्लस आप 3392 पे 5% पे कर रहे हो, which is 5/100. And if you calculate all this, you will then get the final answer as 3561.60. Question 3. What price should a shopkeeper mark? Again, you're talking from the shopkeeper's point of view. The questions will be from the commercial point. So, mark का मतलब है marked price आपको find करना है, तो simply सबसे पहले इसको assume कर लेते हैं. Whatever is to be found, we assume it to be x. That costs him rupees 600, यानी कि cost price is 600. Then profit is given, profit percentage is 20% given. And also discount is given as 10%. Don't get confused after looking at so many numbers. Be very logical, step by step procedure follow करेंगे, and हमेशा हम practical life में इसको relate करेंगे. You see the tag price जो आपको नहीं पता, let's say वो कुछ भी है. Obviously it should be more than 600 to gain from the business person's point of view. तो जो भी आपका tag price है X, सबसे पहले आप उस पे discount calculate करोगे. तो x पे 10% डिस्काउंट कैलकुलेट होगा, एंड डिस्काउंट हमेशा उसमें से रिड्यूस होगा, दैट मींस सब्ट्रैक्ट होगा. डोंट मेक अ मिस्टेक ऑफ एडिंग इट. अ वेरी कॉमन मिस्टेक समटाइम्स पीपल मेक, बिकॉज हमें प्रॉफिट में भी ऐड करने की आदत होती है, हमें टैक्स में भी ऐड करने की आदत होती है. इन द प्रीवियस केस वी एडेड 5% टैक्स, rather in this case we'll subtract 10% discount. Very much logical. So x minus 10% of x, यानी कि 10/100 of x is what you are paying as a customer now. थोड़ा सा हम कस्टमर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू पे आ गए हैं. x is tag price, इसमें से आपने डिस्काउंट को सब्ट्रैक्ट कर लिया. अब जो भी फाइनल प्राइस आएगा वो आप कस्टमर की तरह पे करोगे, और कस्टमर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से वो सेलिंग प्राइस हो जाएगा, मतलब ओनर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से इट विल बी सेलिंग प्राइस, एंड दिस इज द अमाउंट दैट यू विल बी पेइंग. Again, if you take LCM and all, simplify, you get the selling price as 9x/10. So this is now relevant. You have found the selling price. Now, you know the selling price, although it is in terms of x, not a problem. You know the cost price. Profit percentage is given to you. अब MP का कोई रोल नहीं है, डिस्काउंट हम एक बार टेक केयर कर ही चुके हैं. अब हम सिंपल सा फॉर्मूला लगाएंगे प्रॉफिट परसेंटेज का. So 20/100 लेफ्ट साइड पे आ जाएगा, which is profit. न्यूमरेटर वी हैव SP minus CP, यानी कि यहाँ पे होगा 9x/10 minus CP, which is 600, like this, whole divided by, since we are involving fractions, तो एक lengthy division का साइन लगाएंगे, and upon we'll have 600, which is getting divided. Now the question is, can we cancel these two zeros of 100 with two zeros of 600? Take a pause, think about it. The answer is yes, we can, simply because like the previous case, denominators में सिर्फ we have one term each, and in between there is an equal to sign. यहाँ पे अगर 600 के साथ कुछ भी प्लस माइनस हो रहा होता है या यहाँ पे हो रहा होता, तब हम ऐसा बिल्कुल ना करते. So ultimately we don't have anything here, we have only 6 in the denominator. The best thing is to transpose it to the LHS. So 6 into 20 LHS पे 120 आ जाएगा, is equal to 9x upon 10 we already have, minus 600 now. So the best thing is कि हम 600 को ट्रांसपोज करते हैं लाइक टर्म्स को, तो सिंपल कॉन्स्टेंट्स हैं, पहले उनको ट्रांसपोज करते हैं, स्टेप बाय स्टेप प्रोसीजर होगा. तो 600 प्लस 120 हो जाएगा. दैट मीन्स ऑन द LHS यू नाउ हैव 720 is equal to 9x upon 10. Now if you transpose this, 10 gets multiplied, 70 to 100 upon 9 is equal to x it will be, which is nothing but 800 rupees. Now, a real estate agent receives 50,000 as a commission. A rare case in which we are talking about a commission. Let's see how we can connect this, which is 4% of selling price. So in the entire statement, this is the final word which is in our comfort zone. So I'm thinking from the student's point of view, once you look at selling price, you feel comfortable. क्या हमें selling price given है? So far it is not. And hence it can be assumed कि last में selling price ही पूछा गया होगा. If we go to the second sentence, at what price does the agent sell? यानी कि sell करने का price क्या है? Again we are to find selling price. So double confirmation हो गया. Since we are to find it, we just assume it to be x. Selling price x है. अब थोड़ा सा backward reading करते हैं first sentence की. 4% of selling price. जो भी है, जो 4% of selling price आएगा, that should be equal to the commission which is 50,000. यानी कि हमें 4% of x की value given है as 50,000. So why not calculate it? 4 upon 100 into x. This is 4% of x equal to the commission which is 50,000. In order to find x, you need to isolate it. So step by step, आप पहले 100 को multiply करो transpose करके and 4 will get divided there. So what you have is 50,000 into 100 upon 4. You may do any kind of calculation. You can cancel it by 2. Let's say 50,000 or 4 को cancel out करो. Other option is if you can somehow relate 100 and 4 directly get cancelled out. It is by a factor of 25. Anything that you like. अगर हम ऐसा करते हैं तो हमारी calculations बहुत straight forward हो जाती हैं. 25 into 5 is 125 हमें पता है, and उसके आगे we copy paste these 4 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, and that is exactly the answer mentioned here. Okay, these were quite straightforward, I believe. Nothing concrete here, as I mentioned, our focus in the first part of the chapter, but just to brush up the basics again. For this thing, हम क्या कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे? We are calculating compounded half yearly. Whenever we say half yearly, that means जो भी आपको rate per annum में given होता है. Normally it is always per annum because that's the standard. So let's say 12% PA it is written. So this is for 1 year. Per annum का मतलब है per 1 year. But आप compounded half yearly कर रहे हो, so you have to calculate कि per half year में कितना होगा. अगर 1 year में 12% है तो half year में उसका half हो जाएगा. So in effect, the rate gets divided by 2, and hence first part of D option is justified so far. Why are we doubling the given number of years? A lot of students have this confusion always. This is because अगर let's say आपके पास पहले n number of years थे, now you're calculating rate of interest per half year. n को हम 2 ले लेते हैं, just for instance. Let's say you had total 2 years. But क्या हम rate of interest अब per annum के हिसाब से निकाल रहे हैं? The answer is no. आप rate of interest निकाल रहे हो for 6 months. So for first 6 months, you are finding some interest. Again, for the next 6 months, this rate is applicable. For the next 6 months again, and finally again for the 6 months. यानी कि आप 6 months के slabs में break करते जाओगे until you reach the total duration of 2 years. इसको अच्छे से समझना है. Duration अभी भी 2 years है, but हम हर 6 months में interest charge कर रहे हैं. तो 6 months के कितने slabs उस 2 years में आएंगे? 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Because 2 years में 24 months होते हैं, and this adds up to 24 months. So in effect, we see that we have calculated the interest 4 times. and hence the value of n will become rather twice of n. यानी कि जो भी 2 years आप कैलकुलेशंस में पहले ले रहे थे, अब उसका आप डबल कर दोगे, यू विल रादर से 4 साइकिल्स इन्वॉल्व होगी. तभी हम कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट के फॉर्मूला में जो रेज टू द पावर n होती है वो रेज टू द पावर t नहीं लिखते. अनलाइक सिंपल इंटरेस्ट, वहां पे इट इज सिंपली t. हियर इट इज n बिकॉज इट्स नॉट टाइम पीरियड इन ईयर्स, इट्स रादर द साइकिल्स, कि आप कितनी बार रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट चार्ज कर रहे हो. दैट इज व्हाट यू हैव टू डू. सो वी आर डूइंग इट 4 टाइम्स एंड हेंस n जो 2 था उसका हम डबल कर देंगे. सो दैट इज हाउ वी जस्टिफाई द वर्ड डबल हिट. Final question, a sum is taken for 2 years at 16% per annum. Interest is compounded after every 3 months now. Very much related to the previous question. अगर आप every 3 months में charge कर रहे हो and you have total 2 years now. 2 years का मतलब होता है 24 months. And you are charging it for every 3 months. 3 months के हम slab बनाते जाएंगे. कितने slabs बनेंगे? Simple 8 slabs बनेंगे. And if we can't figure out, let us assume कि X number of slabs बनेंगे. So 1 3 months ka slab into the total number of slabs should give you the total duration. Unitary method, simple equation, whatever you say. And hence from here x is 8. That means you are doing the process 8 times now. अब इसको दोबारा से देखते हैं. मान लो यहाँ पे 3 months ना होता compounded annually होता simple, और आपको 2 years का duration given है. So for 2 years n would have been 2 itself. बट इन दिस केस इट इज फॉर 3 months. तो यहाँ पे हम 8 टाइम्स ऑफ n कर रहे हैं, यानी कि 8 इंटू 2 16 हो जाएगा. एंड सिमिलरली अगर वो कंपाउंडेड हाफ ईयरली होता, 6 months के लिए होता, तो 6 के कितने स्लैब्स थे? 4 स्लैब्स थे. तो अकॉर्डिंगली वी वुड हैव चेंज द वैल्यूज. ऑलराइट, दैट्स इट फॉर टुडे. थैंक यू.